So we're briefly going to recap our 2025 race season and some of the events that we got to go to in the 2025 season. Now we got a late start to it. We started off in June. Now everybody knows big diesel event every year. First weekend in June, UCC, Ultimate Call Out Challenge out in Indianapolis. Now we do plan on being a UCC competitor one day. We're bringing a 6.4 to UCC and our plan is to be the first one to break 2,000 horsepower with a 6.4 Powerstroke. We brought it out and we were crunching the night before to get this truck put together, getting the fiberglass bedsides on. We had the roll cage put in it. Thursday night, I think, is when we got it back from Ray. We couldn't get it started at Ray's. We found there were two connectors that had gotten switched, shorted some things out. We got those swapped, got the truck started here at the shop. We missed qualifying round one because me and Kenny overslept. Well, Kenny was supposed to wake me up, but he didn't. Forgot to wake me up this morning.
Forgot.
Qualifying round two, there are two things that went wrong. Right lane guy, he blew a radiator hose and ate the wall about halfway down the track. And then my, I think, left front caliper bolt fell out like almost right off the starting line. Bad run of circumstances, and then I was like, all right, we're gonna full send this sucker. Qualifying round three, she put down a 6.85, fastest pass that we had ever made. It was on fuel only, so I knew we were getting closer to that 670 mark that we had been shooting for.
Girls did not stand a chance of catching him.
Oh yeah, dude, we just ran a 6.85. I think we could easily get this thing to run a 670 perfectly.
It was just such a clean run. It was just like, yes.
It was a 10-pound run.
Yes.
And that was pretty much the end of UCC. We blew up the Burnout truck at UCC, but that is unrelated. The next event after that was Southern Ohio Smoke Show. So that one was a cool event because it was both dirt drags, a dyno competition, which we took first place in the dyno competition. That was pretty big for me. 136 jet, we put down 1,180 horsepower at the wheel, which was pretty big. That means, you know, with the combined weight, this truck weighed in at right around 5,800 pounds with 1,180 horsepower. That means we were gonna very easily make that 670 pass. That's what it like gave me confidence that I was like, all right, this truck can for sure hit a 670 pass. So that was pretty exciting for me to see that big of a number.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty good.
1179.
Yeah, I'm extremely happy with that. But that was pretty cool. Then we did some dirt drags. Yeah, we were finalists up against Kevin, and then I fumbled the bag. And oh, Kevin, yeah, he told me, he was like, hold up, I'm not staged yet. I was like, I know my truck. I could sit on the converter for 30 seconds and it's not gonna overheat the transmission. I don't know why. It was like 5 seconds in, and I was like, okay, it's Kevin. He's looking out for me. The truck falls out of boost just like that, and Kevin rolls into deep stage, and then the light drops. So it was pretty funny. Nothing against Kevin. We all like Kevin. So yeah, that was the big thing at Southern Ohio Smoke Show, was the big dyno number, 1180. We went out to up near Plain City where Fire Punk is. We got to race Lavon, owner of Fire Punk, in his quad cab. Pretty sure that truck is made upwards of 1,1800. It's actually the original, I think the DPC, the Diesel Power Challenge truck. Big compound setup on that truck. It was just pretty cool to be out there and be able to race Lavon. Got to knock him out of the race. So it was kind of satisfying. We had already won modified class, and a guy, Brian, I don't know his last name, he's got a Turbo LS dirt drag truck, and he drove out there like 6 hours or something from Pennsylvania, and he was like, man, nobody wants to run me, nobody's running open. He's like, you want to do an exhibition run? He's like, no money, you know, we'll just run each other. I was like, sure, why not? He beat me, obviously. That thing is quick. about to cross the finish line, I hear like a bang crash, and I was like, what the heck just happened? I thought I like blew a drive shaft out. Turns out a rock flung up and shattered my back glass, because I had always had a full body truck. I always had a full bed on it. I had never really even thought about shattering a back glass. So we swapped that with plexiglass so that doesn't happen again, but then we rolled the truck and yeah, shattered that too anyway. Beech Bend Raceway, which I was this is the first time we broke out of 670. First pass, terrible. Ran like a 7.7 or something. It was like 770. Well, that was terrible.
Yeah, 7.4 is not ideal, is it?
Nah. What truck would run 770? Such a waste. I'm just kidding. Love all my 770 guys. I launched it terribly. Next pass, I was like, well, it's either do or die at this point. Like, let's just full send it. Launched the thing at 20 pounds, hit that thing with an 88 jet of nitrous, I think. It was a smaller jet than when you run on the dirt. Ran a 6.5. I was super stoked about it.
I mean, come on, where's the enthusiasm? Who cares if your thing's breaking? Who cares if you leak some trans fluid? That was a 6.5.
I'm excited.
Well, just take this moment.
I know.
6.5! Come on!
Because that was the first time we ever broke out of 670, and then followed that with a 6.698 pass, which is 2 thousandths of a second away from the perfect pass. And that got me super hyped. We just made a near perfect pass.
Yeah, 6.698.
I felt like I was running too fast. I know.
That's insane.
That's 2 thousandths of a second away from a perfect pass. 6.698 with a .08 reaction.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, we made the near perfect pass and we broke out of 670. So, you know, the truck has a lot of potential. Beech Bend was a great event. We did get rained out. We got knocked out first round anyway. It didn't really matter, but we had a good pass. We had the near perfect pass and we broke out. Beech Bend was a really good one in my books. On to the next event. What was it? Oh, it was Dirt Country. So at Dirt Country, pull into staging lanes, letting it warm up, running good. We go to pull into for the first pass of the night and I spool up, and this guy that I was up against would not deep stage for nothing. Sitting there, basically burning me down for, I'd have to watch the video back. It felt like 20 seconds or more. The guy finally gets up to the light and he just goes. And so I let out, start just crawling to pull back around because that was a free win for me. Then the truck just shuts off mid-track. And so everybody comes running out there to push the truck off the track. And then Kevin's dad comes running up with a jump pack. We got second place modified diesel there, lost to Kevin. We took home the open first place win. That was a good one. I like Dirt Country. A lot of good people up there. Got to run against Justin Spires. Then its ultimate demise, I crashed the race truck. Don't recommend driving a 1200 horsepower, fully weight reduced, no bed race truck on the street on two-wheel drive Nitto 420s. Yeah, no traction, no speedometer. We were going to get a key made for the truck. Made it all of 2 minutes and 37 seconds up the road. That was how we led into Scheid, because that was the next event after the wreck. We've got a perfectly good truck and the body's already trashed, so I was like, let's just bring it up to Scheid, keep an eye on our temperatures, and just throw it in the burnout pit. We did put it on the dyno first, put down 1125 wheel, which was a little bit lower number. guy that was running the dyno, he said it was super humid that day. It was pretty hot, so that just air temperatures can affect your dyno pass or dyno hook as well. But 1125, still very happy with that run, and we still have plans to change some things up to maybe hit 1500 horsepower next year. We put it in the Burnout pit and broke a valve. But yeah, then after that, we got it back to the shop. We tore it down, found some pretty heavy carnage inside the truck. We had Ray, the guy that built our roll cage, he stopped by and he got to look at the truck, look it over. He said the roll cage trash and needs redone. And he said, man, you really better check your frame. Sure enough, we bent the front end of this frame about 2.5, 3 inches over in on the passenger side. So at that point, it's just buying a whole nother truck. So why would we cab swap it, frame swap it, get the frame straightened, which would cost thousands of dollars when you can pick these trucks up relatively simply. So we went on the good old Facebook Marketplace. We met up with these guys out in Wilmington. Now we did switch to a 2012 body, which is this new truck here. I guess I'll just pivot like this. Now this truck is a 2012, which everybody knows, steel body 6.7 Powerstroke. Actually, this was a gas truck. This wasn't even diesel. This thing's actually in pretty good shape. It looks rough right now. There's like minimal rust on the frame, which was a total opposite compared to the old one. When we bought this thing, it was a utility truck, had a big old box on the back. Frame was extremely rusted. We stripped it to a bare frame, had it sandblasted, and then we painted it blue. We're not doing that again. That was dumb and a waste of time. This one, gonna strip the frame back to bare like we did with the original one, because we have to 4-wheel drive convert it. That was my one mistake with buying this new truck, was I didn't even think to ask if it's 4-wheel drive, because I figure every truck since 2008 is 4-wheel drive anyway. So apparently this one wasn't. Base model work truck, which is the same thing as this. It was base model work truck, crank windows, the whole 9 yards. Fortunately, all our 4-wheel drive components are brand new on this truck. Axle is still straight, didn't bend the axle, tie rods, all that stuff. So we're gonna just yeet that out of that truck and bolt it up to this one, swap the 4-link over, cut the traction bars off for the rear. We might 4-link the rear if we got to swap everything over. Ray said he can 4-link it, put a cage, do a full cage this time, X-brace it. So plans moving forward, getting this truck ready. We got a 4-wheel drive convert it. We're gonna get everything, in the front end built, heavy duty front and rear drive shafts. Probably gonna get carbon fiber drive shafts made by a local shop here over in Goshen. Body's gonna get fully redone, all fiberglass. We're gonna get this thing looking bad and beautiful. Gonna get a full wrap, Smith's Diesel Performance. Quick rundown on some other performance modifications we're adding. This truck broke out a 670, so we're gonna make this truck a 570 truck. We're gonna push this thing to the limit. Brief rundown, we're switching to a bigger charger with a tighter AR. That means more boost pressure. We're switching to a 488 with a spool jet, and then we're going to have a progressive controller twin nitrous jet system. We're also switching to a water to air intercooler. We're gonna hang a water to air out front of this one instead of having your conventional air to air, just as will help us keep our intake air temperatures down. Now we are keeping the 150 over injectors, because I feel like more controlled fuel is better than just having a garden hose sticking into your motor. But we are adding a stroker injection pump on the belt. It had a stock CP3 on the belt with the factory K16 in the valley, but moving forward, we're gonna drive the injectors a little harder in the high RPM under full load and full demand with more nitrous and a bigger charger. So, we're really shooting for that 1500 horsepower range. We're gonna see where that puts us on the track and get us on the dyno. Now, unfortunately, the 5R110 transmission transmission cannot hold over 1,000 horsepower reliably. So moving forward, we are going to do a standalone controller. So I've been told each way, 48RE with full manual valve body or anteater controller behind the 6.4 or a 4R100, because you can build both of those to be extremely strong. So we're still undecided. I don't know if I want a Fire Punk 48RE behind it, or if I want to have a 4R100 behind it with a PCS controller. But we are going to switch out the transmission for a heavier duty transmission because we're already making more power than the 5R can hold. We've got a lot of work to do. You know, we've got, I'd say about what, a 6-month countdown before our first event. We want to be at Rudy's spring opener, so we're going to get hammering on this truck. Stay tuned for the build. We're super excited to push this thing to eventually be a 2,000 horsepower. We're not going to try and bring it to UCC next year, but 2027, who knows? We might be a UCC competitor. We're going to really be pushing this truck to the limit. But again, thanks for watching, keeping up with the build, and being a supporter of all our channels and our pages. We do appreciate the support. So, you know, if you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment if you've got some suggestions, or just, you know, want to share your opinion. Yeah, I appreciate all you guys being supporters of the channel. Thanks for watching.